There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's the man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamarae. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? For the master, master teacher. Freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life-born spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring the master teacher. Bring the freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring the master teacher. Bring the freedom for the master, master teacher. 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 Freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down, make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult. There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do anything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, fade away, fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. But how about you? The master, master teacher. Freedom for 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 the master.
Okay, we're just gonna start with our affirmation. So yeah, if you could do the honors, please, Nehe.
Anuki Jawefa Ashuk Empa Bahut Kalal Ashuk Kawun Jawef Leya Anuki Kasam Empa Bahut Bahut Kawun Kasam Ebneya Anuki Bahugan Empa Bahut Bahut Kawun Bahugan Ebneya Nakuk kadur najul panet asamdun empa baut. Wu-Habuk anet nuskasun. Nakuk kadur kawan kalal pafat. Nakuk harun shawek pa maut. Ame baset ame aradi kabul layet pakwe jawek pa maut. Anuti abek diet makashni. Baut kawun anuki, baut kador nakuk kador, baut amul nakuk amul.
So Zamal, I appreciate it. Okay, Roba Musad, welcome to another question answer class. Topic included in this one. My brother here, Gorek Amun Tahuti. Okay, I will be introducing the class today, and I will be his assistant. Okay, Robert to Moisar, Robert to all those who are online. Just adjust my crown because it's leaning. Is that right? Okay. I don't twist it. Twist it. Thank you. There we go. All right, should be really prepared before we go online. Okay, so yeah, I go by the name of Ranani Kawun Usir Kareye, and my brother here is
Goreg Amun Tahuti.
Okay, and we'll be hosting the class for today. Okay, today's tie is called The Mind's Eye. As you know, we're the student teachers of the Master Teacher Pa Nabab Yanun, the Master Teacher of Heaven and Earth. All right, it's our pleasure always to teach this doctrine known as Wu-Sabat, Patarat the way. So we're going to open our class with Brother Goreg, reading from The Mind's Eye.
All right, if you've got a copy of the scroll, then by all means follow along. But I will be reading, and at times I'll explore, or more so, my brother who said will also expand on what's being said. We'll make references to other scrolls just for a deeper understanding. Right, let's begin. The Mind's Eye. Verse 1. The Kum. My beloved wu-nuwaupu Karadu, Nuwaupian children of wu-nuwaup, about the seeing of Tayef, ghost, Kau, spirits, specters, and Etherians. Verse 2. I, Pa Nabab Yanun, have spoken much only to warn you of the dangers of those who use jasad, flesh, and damam, blood, to attract disembodied Kha'u, spirits, in their religious rituals. So just to expand on that, I would like to refer to another scroll that speaks to the usage of disembodied spirits as part of rituals and religion. And in that instance, I'm looking at the scroll called Reflections and Projection. and I'll be reading from verse 89. Verse 89, that is whose religious Safaf book report about their God by whichever name in whichever Lahach language they use for their God these days. 90. He God is spirit who created Madamu, Adamites, a mortal Salal race in his own or their own image. 91. Looks like him or them and likeness. Acts like him or them in Genesis 1, verse 26 to 27. It says, verse 26, and God said, let us make man in our own image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. King James Version of 1611 AD. If one looks at Genesis 6, verse 5, it says, and God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. That's King James Version, 1611 AD. Now returning back to verse 92, and in each Kadesh Mishaf, holy book, they do refer to the God as him, he, a Ayash, male, gender. In Quran 111 verse 1, in John 4 verse 24, him. In Deuteronomy 6 verse 2, his. In Quran 112 verse 1, it says, he is Allah, the one and only. That's according to the Yusuf Ali translation of 1934. In John 4 verse 24, it said, God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. King James Version. In Deuteronomy 6 verse 2, it says, that thou mightest fear that the Lord thy God, to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee, thou and thy son, and thy son's son, all these days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged. King James Version. Verse 93. All books by males, patriarchism. 94. The wu-nuwaupu, angels, always males by name, as in Daniel 9 verse 21. I'll repeat that, that's Daniel 9 verse 21 and Quran 19 verse 17. Let's read Daniel 9:21. He, whilst I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the visions at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation. King James Version. And in the Quran 19 verse 17, she placed the screen to screen herself from them. Then we sent her our angel, and he appeared before her as a man in all respects. That's the Yusuf Ali translation. Verse 95. They are Hu, spirits, Tayaf, ghost, and can be tricky and play on the Muhmamu, human, Akal, mind, if allowed. Spirits manipulating the nervous system, and Tufat, emotions, many in half Nawam, sleep states, sleep paralysis, drugs, or unhealthy bodies. 97. Each can affect the body's damam, blood, which is linked to your achahi, khatat, etheric body, or kahal, spiritual you. 98. And some affect the damagh, brain, and is the result of illusions, unrealistic and unreasonable, and due khala'an, ignorance, and religious superstition can make one think they see Mary, Jesus, saints, or angels, always in their religious dress. Verse 99. And this is why our Sahasu people need Wu-Sabat, as Masbatu, Sabians, speaking Sabbatic, for the elimination of unnatural religious hal'an, ignorance, and creation of religious khawaf, fear of wawat, death. Verse 100. Abrahamism, religious Mohism, Jesusism, Mohammedism are based on death, dying, spirit, and fear of after Mawat, death. So I'll stop there for now in the scroll called Reflections and Projections. And that was merely to expand on how these rituals and religions can influence us. So returning back now to our scroll, The Mind's Eye, verse 3. For now, wu-nuwaupians, to know the best way to contact your relatives will link you to your Salafu ancestors, to Panatharu, was 4. Many people claim to see Ka'u, spirits of the dead. 5. Many people claim to see disembodied beings. 6. Many people claim they see ghosts. 7. Many people claim they see Nasabu, relatives. 8. Many people claim they see religious figures. 9. Many people claim they see ancient Egyptians, Natharu. 10. Many people claim they see angelic beings. 11. Many people claim they see demons. 12. Many people claim they see extraterrestrials. 13. Most see all these according to what they fear or believe. 14. If they belong to a Za'am religion, note it's always from their own faith, what they experience. 15. Kasasu Christians always see what they accepted from the New Testament. 16. Satanists always see what they accepted from Satanism. 17. Yoruban and Santerians always see what they accept in Yoruba. 18. Muslims and their Sufi always see what they accept their Quran and Sunnah, Hadith, and sayings of Islamism. 19. Israelites, Hebrews, Jews will always see what they accept in their Old Testament, Torah, and other Jewish records and Talmudic traditions and other books they believe in. 20. The same for Hindus, Buddhists, Zoroastrians, thank you, Zama, Baha'i, Rastafarians, Confucians, Native American shamans, and the same with all religious beliefs. 21. And so with those that believe in extraterrestrials, they all will claim to see what they have accepted in their belief systems. 22. Many out of fear of death. 23. Many out of fear of the afterlife. 24. Many out of cinemas, books, or things they experienced in this world. 25. Some even have created in the mind's eye things to see, monsters, and the likes. 26, you see, all you hear, all you experience, or created in your mind's eye becomes real to you. 27, you store these images in your subconscious mind. 28, you are able to retrieve them at will, like an undeveloped film on file in your subconscious mind. You pull them up and process them as real. 29, when they could have been only a dream or an exaggeration in your dream state, or a fear or trauma or terror in an awoke state. 30, something or someone frightens you, and your mind's eye exaggerates it into what you think you saw or felt. I'll just pause it for a second.
Any other question? Any questions so far?
Zoom, Clubhouse.
So, no questions so far, Zaman.
Okay, well, wait. Yes, Kobe?
So, sorry, because you were just talking about dreams. I know you don't interpret dreams, but then when you're dreaming, are you going into that mental realm? Is that where you are when you're dreaming, and how are you seeing that mental realm?
That's precisely right. So that it just goes to show you that when you are dreaming, how do you know that's not the real, actually real reality? Because there's things that can affect you in your dreams where you wake up sweating. You know what I'm saying? Or you wake up, with your heart beating excessively. So which is the reality, the dream state or the state that you're in when you wake up? Yeah, and what has been explained is that the etheric part of you or the spiritual part of you, the reason why you're able to see when you're asleep is because you're utilizing that higher portion of you to navigate in your dreams or to navigate in that dimension. Does that make sense?
Huawei.
Yeah.
Sure.
And as you walk through those experiences in your so-called dream state, yeah, that etheric part of you, that spiritual part of you learns and, navigates that dimension, and wherever its experiences there can also happen in the future or, down the line, something might trigger. So this is where you start getting things what they call deja vu, or you might start having, oh, I've been here before, because it's more real, do you see what I'm saying? Because your spirit travels. Your soul and spirit can travel to other dimensions, to the past, to the present, or to the future. You have that. You're not limited by time, space in that respect. Yeah,
Well, I wasn't going to elaborate. I was just going to ask. That pertains to the context of astral projection.
That's right. Yeah.
So my question then is that a useful skill to practice, to be awake in the, let's call it sleep state, being aware that you out of your body at that present time and then exploring it?
Yeah, if you're able to control that part of you and you can navigate in those realms, yeah, this is part of the teachings that you have to be, say, close to your ancestors, as is mentioned in the book.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? The man's explains that when you're connected to your ancestors, they can protect you while you go through certain experiences.
Indeed.
I mean, whether in the dream state or in the physical. So that's part of it, yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
That's that.
Any other questions on that?
Robot.
Okay.
Vesta?
I heard Wu-Sabat, but I don't know who's speaking. Is it Vesta?
It's Vesta speaking.
Oh, okay. How you doing, Vesta? How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, Samal. Thank you. I just wanted to more make a statement than a question. Where you're talking about a dream state, and I had a vision when about 25 years ago, maybe even a bit longer, maybe 30 years ago, and I'm sleeping, and I went to a place where I saw, like in the distance, what looked like beings not beings, people praying, you know, like our Muslims would bend down in prayer, like from a long distance away they were, okay? And at this point in my life, I mean, the closest thing I've been to in any faith, I would say Rastafari, but I wasn't really deep into it, but that's the closest thing I've sort of ever had as a, you know, as faith-wise, right? So, you know, I knew nothing about intergalactical beings or nothing like this, or, you know, nothing about the knowledge or anything like this, right? So, yeah, over 30 years ago. Anyway,
Nadum Musmalo, just to say you're muted on Clubhouse.
Really?
Yeah.
No, we're not, but I'll leave and come back in. It's really strange, this Clubhouse.
Don't leave. Don't leave. You need to make me moderator in order to do
Okay,
so.
all right, let me, 1 second. Let me just add you. Okay, I can't even add you. It's not giving me an option. Let me try and see if I can moderator.
Right, Vesta, apologies for that. We're just resolving a technical.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
I can't seem to add you, Zamal, as moderator.
Okay, I'll leave and come out. Go with it.
It's not giving me the option. Yeah, I don't have the option for some reason. Okay, that's really good. And it sounds really choppy, doesn't it?
Can also feedback, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, Vesta, sorry about that. We're just I don't know what's going on.
It says the channel has ended. 1 second. Did you leave?
No, I didn't. I'm still here.
Okay. Okay, I'm back in now. See if we can.
Okay, let's try and see what I do again. No, there's no option for me. I don't understand that.
What will happen if you get out and come back?
Okay, then they'll stop the class. Yeah. Right, we're getting some mad feedback, and I don't know where it's coming from.
It was fine before. I just don't know what happened.
Okay. All right, Sylvester, go on. We'll
okay, Canas is up there, and he's on the moderators panel. Okay. So maybe you can leave and come out now.
Okay. Okay. Let me leave. Go back in. Right. Right. Can I be heard now?
It says you're unmuted now. I'll come out of Zoom to make sure.
Wait. See if I can make him moderate. Yeah. Right, just let us know that. Khanas, just put a thumbs up or something, or whatever, to let us know that you can be heard. Okay, sorry about that, Vesta. Right, back to your experience now.
Yeah, the vision.
Okay, so like I say, these beings in a far distance looked like they were prostrated in prayer, right? That's the way I interpret it. Okay, and from out of there was a whole load of them, and so out of the multitude of them, one of them rose and came towards me, got bigger and bigger. They're all in white, these beings, okay? And they came closer and closer and closer. And when he got to what I would sort of say, if he was standing in front of me, would be sort of 2 foot away, like I'm talking to someone. It was a grey.
Okay.
And the thing is, I had no experience of greys in my life, right? So, on TV or knowledge or nothing like this, you understand? So anyway, what I remember it saying to me is, why are you here? Okay. And then the next thing is, I woke up.
Okay.
I just wanted to share that. That was it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's an interesting experience. Yeah. Definitely interesting experience. And you remember all these years as well.
That kind of rocked me. And
yeah. That will put a stamp in your matrix.
It's definitely stamped.
Okay. Any other experiences or any rereads before we continue expanding on the mind's eye? Oh, Jackie. Greetings, Jackie. You have a question?
Yeah. Yes, Rahubat.
Rahubat.
When someone sees their dead relative, is that what we'd call a ghost?
It's a form of etheric being. Ghost is more of a lesser vibratory energy. which is of a lesser formula than let's just say like a spiritual Nagaru. Just what I'm saying. The death of 9 ether and the death of 6 ether is your ghost. Just what I'm saying. But you do have etheric beings that are more on a higher vibrational frequency that can appear to you, which has been interpreted or misinterpreted as ghost, because obviously the language aspect of it, where you have spirit and soul and spirit, and the misunderstanding of what ghost is. Ghost is a form of apparition, but it's a lesser state of ether. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the beings that will appear to you will be etheric of your blood relation or connected to your blood relatives, but they're not ghost as what has been misinterpreted in the Western world as ghosts. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so ghost, as I said, is a lesser state of 6 ether, is the death of 6 ether, while 9 ether, when it translates, is still an etheric being.
So is it really the relative? Is it really the person's relative?
Okay, so getting to the relative part, if we go back to I think is it here in the beginning of the mind's eye? We do touch on it in here anyway, on the mind's eye, but essentially your mind, because of what you've experienced and your understanding, you can misinterpret that as a relative, because these forces, as we were reading from reflection and projection, would you like us to reread it again for you? Because they can come as relatives, because what they do is you have disembodied spirits, you have beings known as extraterrestrials who are also in energy form. And what they have the ability to do is they can tap into your mental frame of reference, i.e. your memories. And then they can project that image or make you feel like, in fact, let's go back to reflection and projection, and then we can read it, and then you get a clear understanding. Right. So it says here, we go to reflection and projection, verse 95. They are ka'au, spirits, and then it says tayaf, ghost, and can be tricky and play on the muhmamu, human akal mind, if allowed. Right? That if allowed part is because when you're wishing or desiring something to happen or manifest, or feelings, etc., they are able to tap into your emotions. You see what I'm saying? And just like in movies about Dracula, if you allow Dracula to enter into your domain, it can control you or utilize you, use you. So if it's only if you allow them. The way to discern whether it's an ancestor or a relative that's come to you is the way you feel, the peace that you may feel, or the non-threatening, just I'm saying, aspect of your nature, because you do have a dual nature. You have the animal nature and you have the human or the God part of you, let's just say, the higher portion of you. And you're able to discern from that, because these beings, they can take on a form, but they can't take on a full form of your ancestors. Sometimes they may look grotesque or undeveloped in your mind's eye. They may not come fully, but you may feel like there's a presence, you see what I'm saying, in your dream that is that you may interpret as a relative. So as it says here in the next verse down, it says spirits manipulating the nervous system, you see, and ta'atufat, emotions. So they manipulate your nervous system and your emotions. Many in half nawam sleep states, sleep paralysis, drugs, or unhealthy bodies. Each can affect the body's damam blood, which is linked to your akhaki khatat, etheric body, or ka'a'a, spiritual you. You see, and some affect the damag brain, and it's the result of illusions unrealistic and unreasonable, and due an ignorance and religious superstition can make one think they see Mary, Jesus, saints, or angels. Obviously, we're not talking about the religious context. We're talking about you feeling that there's a relative nearby. But it all boils down to the fact that you have either spiritual etheric beings who are maybe relatives, or you have ghost forces also who are of a lesser state that can also utilize your nervous system and the fact that your desire, which is a part of your emotions, they can manipulate that and make you think it's an ancestor, make you think it's Jesus, make you think these things, you see what I'm saying? And then what you're doing is, as Gorego's reading, you create an image, an undeveloped image in your mind's eye, and then you project it. Is that making sense?
Yes, as you're speaking, I was also wondering if like certain medications can interfere with the mind,
That's right.
to cause you to
Exactly.
see things.
Exactly. Yeah.
Especially those who psychiatric.
Yeah, as it
Psychiatrist.
says. Yeah, it says unhealthy body. So an unhealthy body could be your state of mind, just what I'm saying, or your physical body. But these forms of things can create illusions, etc. We're not saying that every experience boils down to this category. What we're saying is that there are beings that can manipulate this to their advantage and use you.
No, don't mean to disturb Zamalta. You haven't come back on Clubhouse at all.
This is incredible.
Yeah. I mean, if you make me
we've been trying, Zamara, but there's not showing any option for me to make you a moderator.
Okay.
No, I see it. I was clicking on the 3 buttons, but it's actually in the image, your profile image.
Yes, actually showing that you're muted. So I don't know what it is on that end, but that's what it's showing as.
Okay, I'm gonna leave since now I've made you moderator, and I'm gonna come back again.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're time for that.
You also had about 3 hands up at one point. But I see Kobe up now.
All right. Well, we're Tawatak. Let me go back into Clubhouse. Hopefully we can be seen again. Right. I hope we can be seen. Moisar.
Okay. Yes, you're unmuted. Don't touch anything.
Honestly, I wasn't. Okay. So yeah. Kobe and others have their hands up. So if you wanna see if you can try one of the questions.
Yeah.
Kobe's
I'm here. I don't want to take away because I know you guys have a path you're going down. I don't want to go off too much from it. So feel free to leave this question until later if you need to.
Okay.
But I just wanted to understand a bit more the science, or understand the science behind how we're actually traveling in our dreams. Just going back to what Vesta was saying, I've had many similar sort of experiences, but I've always tried to really try and understand how are we able to do that, and are these places we are going to, are they real? Are they really out there? I know that might be a big build, so
yeah, as I said, part about Yanun explained that how do you know that is not the reality, and what you're living now is the fake version. Do you see what I'm saying? Because remember, it's all part of the mind's eye, it's all part of the mental. So you as a 9-dimensional being, what you have the power to do is create worlds, create experiences, and exist. You exist, and you as a 9-dimensional being can project what you've done. You projected the various parts of you into different dimensions. So you have the mental you have the soul you have the etheric you. Just what I'm saying, all existing in different states. So when you go to a sleep state or you fall asleep, the real you moves about unhindered. When you come back into this realm, the other version, or the solid version of you, do you know what I mean? The hard copy, as it were, is restricted by the laws and the physics that is bound to this realm. Does that make sense? So you have an etheric part of you which is linked all the way back to ancestors, all the way back to Panataru. And these are literally dimensions and planes of existence. And you have the ability to move through them. What takes place is that you don't have control most of the time over your movements. So you can actually get trapped sometimes. Some people can actually get trapped in those realms. We have a spiritual master who's explaining to us about these realms, so that when you do the spiritual travels, you now understand it a little bit more better and you be more in control of it. Does that make sense? Okay, Antakatira 4. And also remember, sorry, just coming to me as well, that you're moving from the state of what is known as elemental, the elements, hydrogen 1, down into ether 1, into the other levels of ether. So from the physical level of matter, you have energy on the other side. And those energies is what you're really and truly made up of. You're made up of energy.
Yeah, that's powerful, man.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, Baba.
Antakatira 4. Do you wanna?
Yes.
Is there any more questions? I think you said that we had 2 questions. Was it in the chat, Zamal, or was it on with hands up? Let's check.
I think it was hands up.
Okay. All right. Okay then. If there's no more questions, we continue with the
Very good.
class. Okay.
Right. Back to verse 31. That is stored in the subconscious mind as a real event or thing. 32. It's become real in your mind as time and space, a reality when in fact you created them in your mind's eye.
No, Dom Zamal. As we joined, you at mute again.
I see. Okay, let me mute myself and then unmute, see what happens. Can I be heard?
No.
Oh, wow, this is incredible. Huawei. Okay, I'm gonna come back out then and go back in. Okay. All right, okay. Rahul back. Can I be heard?
Sure, you can.
Okay.
Right. Verse 33. A person may see in or with the mind's inner eye. Verse 34. A vision or a dream or frightened cinema, then later sees a ghost, spirit, spectre, ET, while you are awake with eyes open. 35. Your ears are clear for sound or touch, and you really think you see this thing. 36. You have processed your vision from your katal, mind. 37. For you see, in order to see, you must use your machach, brain, as well as your aya na'at, eyes. 38. Light in the form of shape, form, and colors enters your aya na'at, eyes. 39. The light is reflected from the object that enters the cornea of the eye. 40. There it is refracted, bent, as it goes through the baka'a, pupil, through the kazaha, iris, or lens of the ayan, eye. 41. The refraction causes the rays of light to cross within the eyes. 42. When the rays cross, the image of the objects are inverted, turned upside down, and projected off the retina. 43. That projected light or radiant energy is then turned into chemical energy by the retina. 44. Therefore, the light or image is reversed, upside down, projected to a screen inside your head, behind your eyes, connected to nerves. 45. This image sends a message to the brain, and the brain computes what is on the screen as. 46. Then reverses it upright and projects it outside back at the image of what it is as it was when first perceived. 47. Yet you see it as you think of it and or remember it as the way you feel about it. 48. If you fear a thing, as a child, you may look at an unknown adult you see as a giant before you. 49. You don't remember that is recognized, so you become frightened. 50. The person may not mean you any harm, yet you created what you needed to protect your body. 51. Or an animal such as a dog may look like a monster to you if you don't recognize it and saw its teeth. 52. You then store this image in your subconscious mind. In your mind's eye, he or it was a giant monster. 53. Once you go to the subconscious world of dreams, you recreated this monster, part man, part dog. You have a werewolf, and now it's chasing you with great big teeth. 54. Where did this come from? 55. It was stored in parts over time and in your mind's eye, the subconscious world of dreams. 56. Yet, wu-nuwaupians, remember how the eye actually works. 57. Once you receive an image of light, you process it and then project it back out of the eyes as an image. 58. You can do this while awake and from your own creation, from that file of undeveloped images with your own construction of them and how you want to see them. 59. Then project them outward. That is not even there.
Yeah, pause there. You like to touch on like for when you look at children.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it might touch it in the book. I think it does, but you know, with when you look at the way children process things and how they're sponges from a very young age and what they're exposed to and what they put into their mind's eye, this is talking about the mechanics of what's taking place. So imagine, you know, you're a fresh young child, innocent, etc., and you're born into a world where there's just lights and visions and images and parents' indoctrination, etc. This is what's taking place. You know, you're storing things in your subconscious. Yeah, continue. Just wanted to just add that.
No, I think that's powerful. I think I can draw from a personal experience. That experience as a child or what we've been indoctrinated with extrapolates into adulthood. And I recall once I was walking down a path and there was a rope, but at the distance where I was from, it looked like a snake. And all of these emotions, you know, evoked inside me. And just to find out later when I got closer that it was a snake. Sorry, it was a rope. So I think it's just that distortion and how the mind can play tricks on us. But returning to our reading.
Verse 59.
Verse 59. I'm repeating. Then project them outward. That is not even there. 60. Yet is a projection of your subconscious file of images with emotions to become what you want to see, such as your Jesus or an angel or a relative or a demon.
That goes to your question you were asking us earlier, Jackie, regarding relatives. Yeah. So yeah. I'm going to read something after that.
Okay. 61. All created by you and projected from inside out, and you really think you see it?
Okay, so that there, before Brother Gorek moves to the next verse, he just brought me up from an update that the master, what you have to understand, Parnabab Yanun, okay, is a warner and a guide and a master teacher. So a lot of this information we have already been privy to before they even came out in book form. And some of us have been already, prepared for many different difficult situations or experiences and have a greater understanding of what's happening to us, so we can deal with it emotionally and mentally better than those who haven't had that chance to have an experience of it, these things. So in one update that he gave us, it all ties into the mind's eye, many other scrolls. But it says here he explains the subconscious affects you in the conscious, and you take fears into the subconscious and you actually think it's real. Sleep paralysis. You can't move and you start to see things. The two minds are warring, trying to see which mind is going to make it real. Yeah, that's your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. So there's a battle that is actually going on between those two realities, as it were. That's when the subconscious and the conscious are warring. This can be dangerous because the subconscious, is moving at all times. People may think it's real, but there's a difference between a subconscious and a conscious. People think of time as forward and backward, but it just is. You're walking into it through the mind's eye. For instance, when we say Baba is free, we just haven't caught up to it yet. I'll repeat that again. For instance, when we say Baba is free, we just haven't caught up to it yet. I asked him, is that the same as deja vu? He said, what do you mean? I said, like when you meet someone and you feel you have met them before. He told me to ask a question like that, not what deja vu is. He explained that you're talking to a person that your subconscious has actually met before. Okay, so religious fanatics, they're actually living in their subconscious mind. They say you are going to burn in hell. We know there's no such thing as hell, but there are vats. Okay, if anyone wants to know why he's put that, and he's put that in large bracket, in bold, or we've emphasized it, there's a reason for that. All your creations are done in your hippocampus area of the brain. They create your own world and start to live in it. Their religion was created there. Okay, so I'll just leave it there. Read further if you want to know more, but yeah, that's part of the update regarding the subconscious mind.
Thank you.
If you want to add, continue, brother.
Okay.
Verse 62.
Yes, and sorry, just to latch on, I think that is a good example of actually framing manifestation, because I think it's now common knowledge that manifestation starts in the mind. What you speak and feel and fuel with energy happens. So yeah, I really like that. Coming back, verse 62. This is a religious spookism I speak of. 63. Most created by fear, God, or you are going to be tortured in a hell's fire forever once you die. 64. Inner or outer visions projected outward from dreams or experiences. 65. While asleep or awake. 66. This is what happens in most religious experiences. 67. Because they don't want facts or confirmation, they walk by faith, not by sight. 68. They're willing to look, yet not touch. 69. In visions or dreams or reality, you see spirits or specters. It can be real or not. 70. Most of this is happening right inside your mind's eye, inside of you. 71. It's your own experience. 72. It's real to you. 73. While most are alone when they see things or experience, apologies. 73. Why most are alone when they see things or experience things? 74. Even if it appears to be outside of you. 75. That is because the brain can project images back out of the eyes that can seem real because to the brain they are real, yet only you see them. 76. Now, this can be done by the 27 spirits inside of you. I think on that, the aspect of the 27 spirits, it's expanded upon in reflections and projection. If we can,
what was the question?
no, we didn't.
Okay.
We didn't.
I'll find it then. Just keep
Okay.
reading.
All right. 77. I say 27 and not 30 because minus you, one less is 29. 78. If your two parents are still alive in this physical world, that is minus 2 more from the 30. So 3 minus 30 is 27. Spirit beings that exist in your genes, your own relatives. 80. They can affect your thinking, your moods, your health, your actions, your dreams, your visions. 81. Spirit or spirits within at work. 82. Evil or good beings who once lived in flesh. 83. Many used to use your flesh to please their own emotions, loss. 84. It can be deception or guidance. 85. Yet they don't come from out of this dimension. 86. They are here, many trapped here by the lust of this world. And I think Brother Hussein mentioned that earlier. 87. So once they died, they are trapped here, yet can't feel its form of hell to them. 88. So they seek to use others' bodies. 89. The easiest way is when a person is intoxicated, drugged, drunk, with strong emotions of anger, jealousy, hating, and lusting. 90. These emotions open up this dimension to the underworld of the same dimension. 91. The 9 lower gates and people in those states have walk-ins and become possessed. 92. Do things in those states they would never have done if their conscious mind was not subdued by intoxicates of a rush of emotions. 93. Another is outside persuasion, as in to join a group or like a uniform, a military, a police force, law enforcement, and you are persuaded to kill for them. 94. So you can come under this effect, sleep or awake. You can lose self-control by persuasion or possession. 95. It's all affecting your inner being by forces other than yourself. 96. This is why wu-nuwaup teaches you to know your own voice, your own tone from those of the ancestors, to prevent whispers from whispering to you suggestions. 97. Things you would never have done, you did because of these emotions of suggestions from the 27 spirits inside or evil people outside who use others to do the evil, like governments. 98. They use pleasures such as pornography. 99. The effect it has is transforming one's mind and affect their physical body to react. 100. The same thing happens in persuasion by inside and outside visions, such as how a commercial makes you want to spend money you don't have by watching others who seem to be having fun or pleasures makes you want the same. 101. So you go to them or where they gather for this. 102. It may not be safe or healthy, yet you begin to partake of that hajam, dimension, or tapal, world of whatever. 103. It affects your ba'a, soul, and your khatat, body, 104. You see an attractive person, they attracted you. You don't see them inside. Only the outside attracted you into their world. 105. This can be a so-called friend who says, let's go there. 106. Let's try this. Here, take this, or drink that, smoke this. 107. You are affected for life by that one act. 108. So it happens from both inside you and outside of you. 109. Your good nasabu, relatives, and salafu, ancestors, only wish to help you. 110. That is the voice that says, don't go. 111. Don't do this or that. 112. Stay away from him or her. 113. Then physical desires takes over your divine being and you submit to your pleasures. I'll do this. Yeah. 114. Or your stronger willed and say, no, I pass, not me. 115. This is our inner powers at work. Right. I'll pause there for a second and go back to what we mentioned in the scroll, reflections and projection. We are reading from verse 14.
Actually, no, go to 13.
Verse 13 in the scroll, reflections and projections. An experience, ta'akus, reflection, inside, outward, tabruz, projection. 14. Although it may appear to be outside or projected outward, or seem to originate outside their akal, mind, on its own. 15. The ha'ach, spirit, or ha'ahu, spirits, within you are doing the work of deception. 16. Your manashu, parents, your own 27 inner DNA spirits of both sides of your Yasar family. 17. One or more can set out to hashush, deceive you, or other ka'ahu spirits you welcome by opening up your khatat body, gate by way of desires, or religious ka'at beliefs of images of beings you believe exist. 18. And the inner ka'ahu spirits are not from outside you or the tapal world of the dead, yet from right inside your akal mind, because you create them just as you do when you are dreaming. Your own nasabu, relatives, and the sahasu people, each of them took part in your mother's raham womb. They entered by way of blood into her kalas placenta, which has a tamtot matrix, has small openings to allow a flow in and out of it.
I think that's about the mind. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And I think just to reflect again, we're highlighting how we can have these influences from our relatives, be it agreeable or not agreeable, as well as those influences from advertisements or friends, family, or doctrine. I'll open up at this point just to check if we've got any questions on Zoom, Clubhouse.
There's some questions in the chat on Zoom.
Try.
Right, we've got from Jackie. What's going on in the mind of a person diagnosed with bipolar disorder or other mental illnesses? Right, if I may have a go.
Yeah, go ahead.
As the scroll just mentioned, in the event of you've got yourself and your parents are still alive, so you've got 27 ancestors within you. Now, as they're equilibrium, you'll have agreeable and disagreeable answers. Some may want to help you and some may not want to help you. And there's no right or wrong because there's a lesson in either. So my interpretation in that context is that a person diagnosed with bipolar is exactly that. You have conflicting ancestors wanting to influence you at particular times. And unfortunately or fortunately, you've got these institutions that can help with it or not. But that's my interpretation.
That's my interpretation, my brother. That's Wu-Sabat. So let me just add on to that. From again an update that the master gave us regarding bipolar. So he explains that there was a study that says that 90% of biracial people are bipolar because they're dealing with two different bloodlines. Okay,
Wow.
so that bipolar aspect is coming from the fact that sometimes you may have, like the brothers Goreg explains, that you got conflicting natures, you know, or spirit forces that are in you that are affecting the way your mind's eye and the way you see and envision things and see things. So 1 minute you could be all for reggae, and then the next minute you could be all, you know, into rock music, etc. So that's the state of bipolar that's taking place. That's just an example. Unless you want to build on that at all.
I've got nothing to add at this point.
That's the next question.
Just to complete Jackie's question, is any demonic possessions happening? The medical medication seems to be a temporary fix and it's not a cure. Can they overcome this and return to their rightful mind? I think the challenge there, Jackie, is that within that context of the medical institution, it's going to be challenging because there is medication that is at play. However, I would like to think that inner work, as it were, for lack of a better word, would possibly facilitate in you, as mentioned in the scroll earlier, knowing your own voice. And I think that conflict is part of the inner voice wanting to be heard, but then obviously also acknowledge the other parties. Do you want to expand on that?
No, that's ask us, you know, if you ask us. Zamalta, is that that sits with you, that explanation? Does it, you know, carry merit, and do you understand what Brother Goreg is explaining?
Okay, so the one nature is overtaking the other, you know, because with bipolar, they're not themselves, and they're doing all kinds of things that is causing lots of problems.
Yeah,
and then it goes from one extreme to the next, so they don't seem to have any control, you know, over themselves.
That's it. It's and obviously, unfortunately, the medical world, especially the Western institutions, don't have an answer for that, even though they studied the brain, because all of them, for them, majority of their medical sciences is based on the physical. It doesn't really explore the mental. We're frozen. Okay, we'll come back. I hope you can you still hear us, Jackie? Because we frozen.
Yes,
okay, but sorry, we're frozen. So, being that you have that medical explanation based only on the physical, they don't give room for the spiritual aspect of what's taking place. That in fact, that when, you know, natures are mixed, different natures are mixed, you produce different mental states, you see, and bipolar is just one of those things that takes place when two natures or races have mixed, and then there's a conflict, unfortunately, in the nature of the child, and the child becomes mentally unstable because of it, because of the mind is working at different rates of speeds. You with me? And it's tapping into different as Goreg was explaining, is that, you know, relatives that are in your DNA. Certain ones are coming forth because of the way your mind is working. So again, going back to an update, again, what Partner Bab Yanun has broke down. In the dream state, you are thinking with the highest point of the mind. That goes back to your Kobe, your question regarding the dreams as well. That's your highest point of your mind, is working in the dream state when you're thinking. A person who's bipolar is caught in between their thoughts, thus they become unstable. Okay, so that's what the masters explain about that. And he goes on and explains about, there are also those people called savants, a French word that means knowing. Those who are geniuses, one or more areas of expertise in a certain area, like a child who can play Beethoven. Their brains go or vibrate at the speed of mind. Okay, and the master explained the speed of mind is 1 point before that, or approximately 186,273 miles per second. At that rate, the time starts to regress. So he's just explaining about how the speed of, your speed of your thoughts is even like, we have what is called moments, and then the Mukasu has seconds. So we have the moments will be like a first, because what you have to realize, they never talk about the first as a mid-unit of time. They always go, they say the first unit of time is the second. But you have to ask yourself, if it's the first unit of time, wouldn't it be called the first? Why is it called the second? It's because they're referring to their measurement of time, you see, and not our measurement. So we have moments, and then we have seconds, and they have minutes, etc., etc. That's how it goes. So going back to what I was reading, so their brains go or vibrate at the speed of mind, and they can retrieve anything from the subconscious mind, past, and conscious, which is future. A savant is stepping in from the back to the front and can go in between the subconscious mental to past, to subconscious past, to future and present, always traveling, but you can carry your memories. Then it goes on to like, you are programmed to look for direction. So you make things into charts, which traps you or your mind. Yeah. I mean, we can read a bit further, but that's where really it stops at on that respect. So I hope that makes it a bit more clearer, Jackie, regarding your question.
Yes, and is there a cure? I mean, how can they help themselves now?
Sorry, say that last bit again.
How can they heal? How can they
How
be
can they
healed
heal?
from?
It's difficult. So it's not an overnight one remedy or one pill fix all. It's a mindfulness, meditation, the choice and the will to choose which you're gonna align with. Because unfortunately for people who are bipolar, because they got the conflict of genes going on and conflict of mentality, it's really about really making that conscious decision and determination to say, right, I'm going to live this way of life and stick with it. You with me? But as I said earlier, because the master teacher has been preparing us for so many different things that come our way, we are better equipped. Do you see what I'm saying? Not saying that everyone who has the equipment utilizes it, so don't get me wrong, but we're better equipped to handle certain situations and certain circumstances that happen in our lives. You see, so Wu-Sabat is the cure, really and truly. But to be able to then take it as a person who's got this particular melody and then embrace Wu-Sabat and practice it to the best of their ability in order to help them. Do you know what I mean? They have to be willing and sincere and look at the positive outcomes of it. But mindfulness, meditation, fasting, nutrition plays part of also in that. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're eating certain foods that's affecting your mental stability, then you need to try and cut that out. You with me? Also being overly sexualized. If you're having many partners, what Wu-Sabat teaches is that having multiple partners, you're taking on their ancestors and their mental states as well. So it doesn't really help anybody, especially somebody who's bipolar. Do you know what I mean? To be taking in somebody's genetic kiss, because that's what Partner Babylon wrote a book called Genetic Kiss, which is all about you know what I mean, the person of DNA and how DNA has within there, you know what I mean, your whole ancestral lineage is in your DNA. So even though it's in a form of semen or it's in a form of spit or saliva, it's DNA and it's getting passed on. And those genetic blueprints or maps becomes part of your matrix, becomes part of your etheric being. And then you'll start to behave and act, you know, at random stages in your life. You might be craving something, or you might get into an argument with, and you said, this is not me. This is, you know, I need to get back to me. You know, how many people have said that to themselves? I don't really behave like this. I don't like this certain thing, you know, the way I'm becoming, you know. So it's all that you have to take in on board when you are in the teachings of Wu-Sabat, you know. So I hope that helps, you know, with the different practices and reading the scrolls and putting it into practice, etc. You know, that's the cure.
Yes, thank you.
You're most welcome.
If I may, I'd use a simple example. I think if the similar principle is at play, if someone is addicted to or has challenges with alcohol, for example, it's useful to understand where that may come from, and that you can do by understanding your ancestors. Was my mom and dad a alcoholic, my granddad, and so on and so forth. And once you understand that, you've got facts at hand. And once you've got the facts, you can make educated decisions. And in the context of the bipolar is understanding through great conversations, and like my brother Hussein said, meditation, understanding who is who in the zoo, as it were, and then allowing or not allowing, but you make the choice. And that is what Wu-Sabat is about. It's about having the facts and then making educated decisions for your soul.
So having the facts would include upfront when you meet someone is to understand the bloodline.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Wu-Sabat teaches about. I mean, we've all been down there, and we meet a partner, we look at the features, they look nice, you know what I mean? They look beautiful or handsome or whatever the case may be. We go for looks, but we don't actually deal with what there's two types of things that what Genetic Kiss talks about. The science of sex and the art of sex. You with me? So the science of sex is just like what you mentioned, knowing about the genes, knowing about the bloodline, knowing about who you're gonna does Uncle Bob have a mental disease? Do you get what I'm saying? Am I gonna pass that to my children? You know, that's you know, Auntie Kate or whatever. Do you know what I mean? All of these things is what Genetic Kiss teaches you, or should I say the science of sex. And then you obviously had the art of sex, which is obviously the pleasures and etc. that comes with it. You know, so these are things that Wu-Sabat teaches, that you've got to apply that information to your everyday life, and that's how it becomes a reality, and that's how you start to live it and be the embodiment of it. You know, if you just you know, you meet somebody, yeah, but you know you shouldn't be drinking though, but then you see persons drinking a can of beer while talking to you, but you shouldn't be drinking. You know that person's a hypocrite. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be listening to them. So, you know, practice what you teach. I'm not going to say preach, because we don't preach. Yeah, practice what you teach. And that's what Wu-Sabat advocates, is that the more you practice it and be the living example of it, it will then see, and also hopefully that will rub off on those who are, you know, aspiring to become, you know, a Sabian, or even just better their life in general. It doesn't have to be, you know, being a Sabian, but just to help improve their own life. They see what you're doing, and they can see the benefits, you know.
Great, thanks.
You're most welcome, my sister.
Yeah, dating takes a very different definition now, but you know what you know.
Yeah, exactly, Kobe.
Kobe, we are listening to you.
Perfect. So, just speaking on the bipolar thing, because I grew up in the city, London. So at the moment, I've got a number of friends who are definitely bipolar, but they're not. They haven't been diagnosed, but you know, you can tell by their actions, they're having their episodes, the certain things that are happening. And I understand people are like struggling with it, the people around them, me being one of them, for example. So I know trauma is a big thing when it comes to that. And it's a pattern that I'm seeing with my friends that are suffering the most, because they've had like real traumatic experiences, crazy experiences. So how does that the impact it has on our mind, like how does that happen, and then how does it lead to things like the bipolar as well?
Okay.
If there's any build on that.
Well, you know.
No, no, I'm not too sure.
Okay,
yeah,
so the bipolar aspect is more from genetic mixing as opposed to it surfacing or triggering at a later stage in life. It's more something that you actually may inherit young. However, when you start to apply and understand the science of epigenetics, you know that genes can be triggered. So
Yeah.
everything, certain ailments, maladies, mental instability, etc., is all under a lock and key mechanism in your DNA. You with me? And it just takes the right or the wrong message to unlock it, and then it surfaces, and then you next thing you know, you're in a mental institution somewhere. So this is basically born out of one, there's something called the morphogenetic field, okay, which we've touched on before,
Yeah.
where things are uploaded into the morphogenetic field. And that again, it gets passed down through generations. You see what I'm saying? So there's various things that are taking place. Morphogenetic field, things that are being triggered externally, by the way you live your life. Is that the answer to the question? So am I answering your question correctly?
To a degree, because I think, okay, so what I'm taking from what you're saying is a traumatic experience could happen, and that, in one sense, could it like trigger something in their ancestors? Could it like in whether it's agreeable or disagreeable ancestor?
Exactly.
Yeah,
because okay, you have to go back to what is DNA, what is gene, what are genes? Do you see what I'm saying? In order to get that full concept wrapped in your brain, or for those who are listening, is that genes are not static. Yeah, that's what they found out when they delved into the human genome. Genes are not static. They move around. There's something called satellite DNA, and there's something called transposons, and all these different scientific terminologies for effectively saying that your genes can be affected via trauma, via, just experiences, etc. Like for an example, for instance, somebody who has a traumatic, I've got a work colleague, had a traumatic experience through a fight, and then noticed that he was becoming, what did vitiligo, or vitiligo.
Okay. Yeah.
His skin size getting pale because of the shock. You see what I'm saying? So that automatically shows that it affected his nervous system. But the fact that it affected his nervous system has to be a genetic thing, which was already there. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, and then that nervous reaction brought out the vitiligo, and then he thought it was just a passing phase. Now you see him, he looks like a Caucasian.
Wow.
I'm saying he looks like a Caucasian because he's literally lost all of it now. His pigmentation's gone, and that's based off of trauma. You see, so these things can happen in the genes of some lay dormant for years. Trauma, as you are asked about, is one of them. Even childhood experiences, television with the lights that are being flickered, at 60 hertz per minute. We know about what's the thing called when people go into a fit? What's it called? Epilepsy.
Yeah.
Which I'm saying, which affects the brain, etc. So the lights and the way these lights are coming to you at 60 hertz or more per second into the brain is that these are being worked off of what is called what's the word for it? It's like ones and zeros. Yeah. Yeah, it's a binary, it's a binary code, and and your DNA works of binary. So the images that are being projected into your mind's eye, okay, are in a form of binary, which is then re-encoding the source code if allowed to. and that source code is in the very nucleus of your DNA. That's your nuclear DNA. Then, not to mention, you have your mother's side, who's got the mitochondria DNA, which is within the matrix of the mitochondria. You understand? And when that gets affected, the genes get scrambled, because what the mitochondria DNA does, it passes on the certain messages called codons to the actual DNA in the nuclear. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's a whole thing going on here between why a female should be in a particular state of mind, you know what I mean, and how she carries herself and what she watches and all of these things, because the modulation and frequency of the television and the things that a female is exposed to or a man is exposed to before even the time of conception, do you see what I'm saying, all affects the child, and it lies dormant, and then it can manifest or be triggered by events that happen in their lives.
Yeah, that makes sense. Even on the fact of it triggering certain behaviors, because even like the people I'm thinking of, I could say most of them easily have either a drinking problem or a drug addiction problem.
Yeah, and that's linked
in
right
some
back
kind
to
of
their, that's right, linked right back to
ancestry.
their ancestors who are in their DNA. So you've triggered an ancestor now to become fully more conscious in your mind's eye, controlling your mental faculties, which you are interpreting it as you. So now you go through a state of depression, and then you turn to your drink, and then you see what I'm saying? Yeah, and the whole process starts. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Tawata.
Good question. Right, we've got another question by Terry Tahuti.
I think we covered that in the subconscious mind.
No, I thought dreams construction of the mind.
I think we mentioned that when we talked about the mind and the subconscious. But I'll go back to it.
Terry, did we answer your question? Terry Tahuti, Aken Raye.
Yeah, sure. First mark too.
Okay. Tawata Zama.
Right. Anything on Clubhouse?
Clubhouse, have we lost you? Is anything there? Sakam Sana Mantuatap or Khanas?
No, there was, but I also did in the chat.
Oh, Tawata Zama. Appreciate it.
Fantastic. Right. Let's go back to the scroll, the mind's eye. I'll go back to verse 128. When you accept a God concept, yet don't stop to question the logic of it, is it logical that a God, deity, ask his creation to kill for him? 129. Ask his creation to obey only him. 130. Ask his creation to steal from others for him. 131. Ask his creation to offer things to him or them. 132. A God who claims to have all power over all things and person and animals, yet he will judge. 133. Why would he have to judge what he already knows? 134. Why let his creation go bad, do evil, hate, fight, war, lie, or steal? If he controls all things, then he can change sin to good. 135. Dawa, evil, to wawad, good, wu-nuwaupu, devils, to good angels in a blink of an eye. Why doesn't he or they? 136. Where is your logic in this matter as you fight over which race was Jesus, Yeshua, Isa? 137. First find out, did their form of Jesus ever exist, or Abraham? 138. You don't even know if they really existed. 139. Their bones have not been found to date. 140. In fact, every year near the Christmas holiday, there is a new discovery about Jesus. 141. The latest is the discovery of a Coptic fragment that Jesus says, "My wife." However, 142. However, who is that person really? 143. Who is Jesus? Jesus is not Coptic. or Coptic name. And then I just looked at the definition of Coptic. The Coptic is the language of the Copts, which represent the final stage of ancient Egypt. Right? So we're just saying Jesus was not a Coptic name. Verse 144. You see, they changed, they keep the character, and they created a new story around the character in an attempt to give him authenticity. 145. You claim them as to which race they were. In this logical way, you have not proven a Jesus ever existed. 146. You being persuaded to fight a fruitless fight of their fiction and myths and legends, lies. 147. The same with all the other lies in the Bibles and Quran, monsters, demons, devils, dragons, fish, people, unicorn, half goat, half man, giant, and the list is long from their God. 148. You choose to avoid wu-nuwaup, facts for fiction. Fate you replace with faith, foolishness, nonsense in place of truth. 149. Wu-nuwaup is here to eliminate the lies of the liars. 150. It's the nonsense of religions of Celtic Salalu races that is another imagery fallacy in the minds of Nagaru Salau, Negroid race, African people. 151. You see, open people such as Nagaru, Negroids, or trusting people seem to love and prefer lies, mythology, fictions, spookism, and mystery over reality, and confirmations over truth, things they can touch. 152. They seem to love myths, such as what the Bible and Quranic religions teach, and many others, be they in books, cinemas, TV, or religion. 153. The spookier the better. The more supernatural, mysterious mysticism, mystified, the more Nagaru, Negroids seem to attract to it over reality and things that reason out. 154. Myths, as in mystical religions, have a way of fascinating Nagaru, Negroids. 155. That's how they keep getting spellbound year after year as the master deceiver comes up with more tricks and cinemas. 156. Now horror films are viewed on three-dimensional TV, surround sound, deceptions of the devil to work on your mind to feed off your fears. 157. They also need you to raise your vibration level for them to pass on to different dimensions using you to reach. Here they cannot because of their frequency is different from ours. 158. The constant pump their image, their voices, their tones to cause you to shift. So you will not make the dimensional shift as they will not, being they've all downgraded their own DNA by mixing with animals. So let's just expand upon that. Are we reading from the scroll Intelligent Design, or is it the Harvest Scroll?
Intelligent Design.
Intelligent Design? Yeah. That's page 49, verse 286.
Page 49.
Yeah, 286. Right. Verse 289. Nuwaupians, humans, have genes that give a trait called alleles. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Alleles. 287. The trait that manifests itself is called dominant. 288. The trait that hides or masks itself is called recessive. 289. Kakasu, Caucasoid have regressive genes. Recessive genes, thank you. 290. Nagaru, Negroids have dominant genes as melanite children, the Black African race. 291. Investigation of heredity laid the foundation for the science of genetics in the 1800s. 292. The studies on or is based on dominant and recessive genes that reappear throughout the generations and offsprings. 293. So this confirmed genetic case or actual fact that a person is a subtotal of their experiences and what is passed on from their past 4 generations. 294, meaning Nuwaupian Yasar family. Whatever you take in, whatever you are exposed to, whatever afflicts you physically, helps to make you your personality, which can become part of your DNA and your genetic coding. 295. It doesn't matter if the mother or father has the physical afflictions, it can be passed on to the child, much like any other disease, such as diabetes, arthritis, sickle cell anemia, cancer, or mental instability, or physical disability, such as muscular dystrophy or multiple sclerosis. These examples are understood to be inherited traits from your genetics.
And like, so this again, going back to an update, you can find it also in Bigfoot Kabir Kadam. That's another scroll as well that you can find more information in. I think I had it open. Yeah, here it goes. I'll find it up.
Your mic's muted as well.
There you go. We're back. Right. Okay. Right. So you have the Homo canine, the Homo simian, and the Homo porcine. Okay. And when you look at these traits that are found in the Mukasu, because of the animal DNA that's in them and animal spirit that they've also inherited, it forfeited them being allowed to move into the higher realms, and hence they ended up losing their soul, because that soul portion, it's like it's a pure essence, and if that gets polluted, it does not do bode well for the higher abodes, because the higher abodes is of purity, and when you get there, you'll spread that pollution into those higher bowls, and that can manifest many different things like demonic beings, etc., etc. Because what you have to realize is these are dimensions and these are abodes of existence, and beings live in those abodes, and they want to keep that abode. It's like your house, really. You don't want to come, you got a clean house and then somebody comes in with dirty boots and bacteria and spreads it all over your house and leaves muck and all kind of debris and then walks and leaves. You see what I'm saying? Or trashes your house and then leaves, a bit like a burglar would do. So in that sense, the higher abodes were restricted from them because of the fact that they mixed. Now you can see this in the manifestations or the traits, because when you look at the Homo canine, which is the term that we use for the Mukasu, is that the fangs, when you look at the fangs of a dog, okay, that's what is referred to as canine teeth. You know, if you listen to the word canine, you're talking about a particular trait that is of a particular animal, species of animal. Then you have the Homo simian. It's got here Cyrus, but it's wrong. It's actually Homo porcine. Okay, you have people that are born, and if we're honest, you see people that have got piggy noses, you know, like snouts. Okay, that is dealing with the fact that, you know, that's the gene trait. So you're dealing with different alleles, as was alluded here in talking about recessive traits and something called alleles. Okay, these traits manifest in the Mukasu race. Okay, you also have the hairy trait from the simian gene that's also in them, and there's many others like for instance, the appendage known as the Cossack's tail, which you can find in some of the some children that are born. They have like an extended Cossack's, which looks like a tail, which is part of the canine DNA that's in them. So yeah, that just ties in with what's been explained in verse 158 of the mind's eye. Any questions so far on that? No questions? Can I be heard? Can we be heard? Because that's the
Sure.
well, wait, tell time. Okay, we'll continue reading from verse 158, yeah?
158, we'll repeat that. They constantly pump their images, their voices, their tones to cause you to shift, so they will not make the dimensional shift as they will they'll not make the dimensional shift as they will not, being they have downgraded their DNA by mixing with animals. 159, yet wu-nuwaupians are awoke now. You see the games being played on the minds of your own race. 160, yet it's very hard to wake up the dead. You were only asleep. Most of them are dead. 161, you had enough insight, inner vision, intelligent, or some of those 27 telling you inside, wake up, time has come. Pamunzar, the warner, has incarnated. 162, you heard my voice and knew that is the warner, so you are escaping the spell of ignorance or sleep. Pa Nawam. 163, by way of wu-nuwaup, our way of life, you are facing the facts, the real world. 164, the dead follow the dead, the living follow those who are alive. 165, you are alive, use your mind. 166, you are no longer seek to be unrealistic, your idols are of your own, your models are of your own. 167, your idea of worship is in your own image. 168, your morals are guided by your own holy scripture, this Patarak, the way, revealed to you for you. 169, you gave up impractical, out-of-reach goals laid out for Caucasoids, not your race. Things you can accomplish as a Fafreye Ka'au African. 170, they created false hopes. You have a real way of life, a culture. 171, you come from the best and richest part of the Kawak Tahach, planet Earth, Africa, as an African. 172, you were misplaced, so it seems you were worth nothing and no one until wu-nuwaup found you sleep and woke you to what and who really are the gods of all other Sala'u races. 173, no more mental frustration and physical depression. You are owners of this Kawak planet and should enjoy the best things it offers you. 174, all you need to do is accept wu-nuwaup as a wu-nuwaupian. Speak wu-nuwaupu.
Nuwaupu.
Nuwaupic. Live by Patarak. That is your reality. 175. Use your own powers. Fear no one or nothing. Protect our own. Forgive none who hurt us. Forget nothing they did to us. It's our turn to rule. 176. We will not forget. 177. We will not forgive. 178. That is the way of nature. That is our way. 179. No more poor and miserable conditions for our own race that affect our lives and families. 180. No more begging of others. We do for self and kind. 181. And this means from 2000 AD, we as Salal race, must learn to use our own powers and resources to solve our own problems. And I think just as a note, I think it's very evident now, if you look on the social media streams, there are various initiatives and movements encouraging the Nuwaupians, or the Negroids at least, to support their own and kind.
And the Garo race is definitely waking up on that level, yeah.
Fantastic. 183, seeking their apparitions, they place in our mind's eye over the past 6,000 years. 184, their ghost, holy or unholy, phantoms, spooks, specters. 185, their dead spirit being six ether, they will not and cannot help you. 186, you have your own, seek your own. 187, our spirit beings are already among us and have been all the time. 188, you just rejected them for the Kakasu, Caucasoids, or Arabs, spook, gods, ghost. 189, Nuwaupu is the plural beings wu-nuwaupu, asu-nuwaupu, and naba-nuwaupu, males and females. 190, not their God. In fact, God is from German gut, Gottia, and means good ghost or holy ghost, Holy Spirit. 191, it's still good, it's still ghosthood. What is good ghost for them we see as evil. They go to church, pray to this God, good God, then go out and kill other races. That's their good God or Holy Ghost and Gad. 192, so they use this word God to hide their evil actions world over.
And you can see that through the Ku Klux Klan and, Knights of the Holy, whatever they call themselves, things satanics, KISS is referred to as an acronym. Knights in something Church of Satan or something like that, Service of Satan, one of them. But they're actually a rock band group. So go different groups out there being visible forces representing Ghost, because Ghost is a killer.
Wow.
So yeah, and that's their God.
Right. Just a quick check-in. Do we have any questions?
There's a question from Jackie. Do you want to take that one?
Jackie is asking, angels are usually males in the Bible. Were there females? I stand corrected, but I do believe there were females.
That's right. First and foremost, Jackie, angels, as we obviously that's the biblical kind of terminology for them. But what you're looking at here is messengers. So that's what the word actually means. Angels just merely means messengers, and as correctly said, they're male and female angels. It's just that because it's a male-dominated religion, it's a patriarchal religion based off of Abrahamism, etc., they won't teach you about female angelic beings. Do you see what I'm saying? But in the Quran, you find two types of words for angels. You find the word malaika and the malaikat. So when you say malaikat, for instance, there's a term in the Quran or the Arabic script which uses something called vowels, which like grammatical things that they've added. When you see the word T at the end of a word, as in malaikat or alayhat, etc., that is referred to as a tara marbuta. And that tara marbuta is a feminine it denotes a feminine gender. So in the Quran, they have two, malaika or malik and malaikat. So that is showing you that there's female angels and male angels by that subtle way of the grammar. So, but when you step out of the realms of the Bible now, and you go into the realms of where the Bible was copied from, which was the ancient Babylonian text, you then find beings known as the Anunnaki, as we've been, the masters taught us and we've been teaching over the many years, is that these Anunnaki or these extraterrestrials, whatever you want to call them, they come in different forms, just like how we have male and female gender on this planet. Because what you have to ask yourself is, how did the X chromosome and the Y chromosome become evident in angels who came from heaven to mix in with the daughters of men? Because in order for you to have children and offspring, you have to have chromosomes, which is DNA. You see what I'm saying? And now if it's a male only has X and Y. So the question is, where did they get the Y from? Yeah, and where did they get the X from? I beg your pardon. Yeah, so the X must have come from a female. So who are these females that were the mothers of these angels? This is what takes you out of this realm of spookism into the realm of reality and starts you to question if these angels are males and they had the X and Y chromosome in order to be compatible with the females on this planet Earth. Where did they get their X chromosome from? And if they got their X chromosome, what do you say? God? Then there's God a female? That means that God must have two X chromosomes. Do you see what I'm saying? And then the mind starts to now become open to the reality that we're not talking about angels as the Michelangelo or the Roman Greco reality. We're talking about beings who are far more advanced, that had male and female gender, that came to this planet and from different star systems and were responsible for the creation of the Adamite race, and also pre-dynastic, other races that were on the planet. You know what I mean? What's it called? Prehistory. Prehistorical evidence proves this, that Africans have been talking about beings from the stars, not necessarily looking like how we look today. You see what I'm saying? Somewhere in reptilian form. And even before the reptilian form, in the form of humanoid, we were in the waters. And that, I think, jumps to the next question about, can we grow back gills? I think that's what iPhone's asking, gills. Yeah, angelic being, female angels or female extraterrestrials, if we take it into the realm of the reality, is that galactical beings, okay, who have come from different star systems, they came here, male and female gender, and settled on this planet. And this is why you have names like Isis and Ishtar and what other names that you can find, in the in the ancient writings of these females. These were your angels, or should I say, these were your beings that got converted into the word angel because man lacked knowledge of these galactical beings. That's what's taking place. Okay, so I hope that answers your question, Jackie. iPhone, do you want to take iPhone's one? Can we grow Gil?
What do you call these things?
Those are webs.
Webs.
Yeah. You're close. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure.
No worries. All right. So, can we grow back gills? Yes, you can grow back gills. You have the ability to grow any limb possible. If you refer to the book, the neuroscience of wu-nuwaup, okay, and also my brother, the extraterrestrials, and I think it's also in intelligent design, divine design. It shows you the image of a Nagaru who's keloided. It's like a heavy form of keloiding. Okay, it's not in here. I don't know how you are, iPhone, with Wu-Sabat, and whether you've managed to acquire any books at all regarding certain subjects or topics. But if you have the book, The Neuroscience of Wu-Nuwaup, it actually touches on there that we had the ability to grow back limbs. Okay, gills was when we were in an aquatic state. Even now, you refer to them as tonsils. What was your gills in the water has now become your tonsils when you're now on land. That's why they don't really know why the tonsils are there, because you get tonsillitis you see what I'm saying? And then they're quickly to remove the tonsils, but they don't realize this was an organ, okay, that was being used when you were in the water, you know, and those acted as your gills or buoyancy. There was like, you had your, what's it called? You had your spleen. There's another gland, I've forgotten the name, or organ, and then you had your tonsils, and these acted as buoyancy, so you can actually float in the water. Okay, so that's just an allusion, you know, alluding to appendix. There you go. Yeah, because that's sort of, because those are things that they quite don't know really what its function is. You know, you got your appendix, it gets inflamed, and then they want to remove it. So these are part of your evolutionary part in when you were in the water as an aquatic creature. So I hope that answers that question. Can we have a swimming pool in space? With space is water. That's what you, so you can have as many swimming pools as you want. iPhone. But yeah, space is actually a form of water. You're living in water. You know, it's just a very fine form of water. Yeah, known as ether. Okay. Any other questions before we move on?
Very good.
No takers. Okay.
All right, so let's continue from verse 193. Now he is in other languages as Yahweh, Yahweh Hem, Jah, El Elohim, El Shaddai, Elion, El Rabab, Allah, Elihat, Anu, Elol, Al, God, Lord, Christ, Messiah, and angels. The list goes on and on. 194. You name it, they call it that. It's ghosthood. 195. They put them inside your mind over the years, and now you can project them out and think they are real. 196. Now it's time to make real contact with your real relatives linked to your ancestors, linked to Panatharu. 197. Without any interference from the evil six ether spectre or your own evil relatives, or who they exchange the DNA with during their lifetimes, that over 27 by far. 198. We must learn to reach the good without any interference by any beings.
Can you just stop there? Because I just come across something as well. I'm going to read this bit here.
Yeah.
Right, so read from the poet Parnabat. This again, I'm just referring to some updates that's just coming to mind from what I've been reading when we're gonna do this study. So if you just read what the Parnabat he spoke, is still referring to Parnabat spoke.
Anything you see on TV affects your DNA and brain waves. If you had a fish tank, it has shock borders on it. If a fish gets too close, they get shock. The brainwaves work the same way. Shock borders, the same thing they do to us to stay within the shock border. Europeans work for centuries to do the same thing to us. They reward the Negro with money and they become corrupt, staying within that. That's staying within that box of order. They reward it for staying within that box. The brainwaves, when you watch the idiot box TV, that affects your brainwaves. They put in your mind shock waves to keep you suppressed. 99 because it breaks through the spell of the computer. Their binary numbers is 1 to 9. They don't overstand past 9.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Right. Returning to 197. Without any interference from their evil six ether spectre or your own evil relatives, or who they exchange the DNA with during their lifetimes that over 27 by far. 198. You must learn to reach the good without any interference by any beings. 199. And to know when you are projecting images from your subconscious mind through your mind's eye, and imagination is at work because of their fictions, myths, and legends. 200. Only wu-nuwaup will put you on the right track. 201. All existing beings exist in the same state if they relate to each other. 202. All spirits vibrate on the same state and is in a space or part of a space. 203. Space can exist without form because it has existence. It is as such can be without form as nothingness yet exists. 204. Before hydrogen became something or the sum of things. 205. So existence was before form, as you know material, be it atom or cells, adams. 206. And being there was existence before materials had some. It had its own space, time, and continuance. 207. And being it could exist before material things as nothing, material things would never have had to be. It was choice made by pre-material. 208. A form of consciousness without physical form. 209. An eternal form in an eternal space and conscious. 210. So if there's no consciousness that exists as eternal form of existence, there would be no physical material existence. 211. So life does exist after physical death and can exist beyond physical wakat, time. 212. So Achahu Etherians or etheric beings don't live by your time. 213. So past, present, and future is the same, the etheric existences. 214. And since etheric beings have been their own space, they are not restricted to any one place at any one moment. 215. Not trapped by place or person or things. 216. As such can be a place, a person, and even a thing such as a statue, a person's body, or be trapped in place. 217. That is after a person dies, if she or he is linked to their own etheric ancestors, they can be trapped and will experience a form of hell over and over. 218. To repeat the act of the death over and over at the exact same time in the physical space and time and material world. 219. Those linked to their ancestors, Cha'ahu, etheric beings, cannot be trapped once they stop breathing. 220. Their etheric relatives linked to them come for them, being attracted to their etheric code opened by chanting, prayer, and rituals. 221. This can not change or be changed because it is nothingness. 222. Yet it can give birth and transform into something as does ether 1 to hydrogen 1 onto helium 2. 223. It's done by motions to movement or energy in motion. The unmovable moved. Once it becomes atomic energy, a new kind of existence. 224. So it facilitates movement as does ghost as gas or ether in all material things. 225. And at this state, and in that state, can attract germs to form cells, an organism to become physical, or incarnate into physical form from etheric form. 226. Because actual space itself cannot move, yet detects any movement within space first as vibration, then shadow figures, then spirit form you see as ghost. 227. A finite universe of space is also expands and can internally expand to become universe finite out of infinite existence out exist as. 228. This is all everything and nothing, and think of that exists within it. 229. True space is nu or nuntat, as Anun. 230. Space is also the way of being absolute. In the positive represents the material perfection atum of beings and things in nature as Natharu. Shall I have a quick pause here? We've got a little more to read and just want to check in again. Do we have any questions on Zoom? Comments on Clubhouse?
Okay, go ahead, Kobe.
So with etheric beings, obviously they exist in gas form, if I'm right. So if they're close to us or if they're near to us, are we able to detect that in any kind of way?
Yeah. You can definitely detect them. Is the presence that you may feel around you. If your senses are heightened, because it's that part of you too. You may be a person born with heightened senses. Some people have to develop their senses, do you know what I mean, to that state where they can feel energies or spirit forces that are around them. You see what I'm saying? So there's people who got it naturally and there's people who develop it. But yeah, essentially, you can definitely feel their presence around them. And so, some of them, as the masters explained, that some of them can come as etheric or light form. Some of them can come in your mind's eye and visit you there, or some of them can come in a gaseous form. So it depends on what form they've chosen, not to really rattle you or disturb your animal side, as it were. Do you get what I'm saying? But yeah, they do come and visit, and you can detect them or feel their presence, because you're dealing with energies that your aura project. Remember, you have that part of you known as your aura. So your aura is something that projects out of you 12 feet. So that's why sometimes you may come into a room and then you can feel the energy in the room, or you may sense somebody that you don't really relate to or feel their vibe. And you're like, I don't really feel that person's vibe. It's not necessarily that person, it's their aura that you're picking up. So you have these external senses that stimulate your nervous system. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's perfect. How that's wrong.
There's a question.
Jackie? All right.
Yeah.
Jackie says some said that on the deathbed they could see their dead family members by their bedside. Are they there to lead them into the next realm? Well, we've just mentioned that upon passing on, the ancestors, our relatives, pick up on our code and then come to our side. So, in short, Jackie, yes.
Okay. When you read that, and then I'll read this, and then we'll cap it off, and then we'll open up for question and answer Q&A for the next 25 minutes.
Okay. Right. 231. Absolute space is positive before negative existed. 232. Out of Kathar Makwamat multiverse is born each Wamu Makwam universe movement of the universe of the unmovable. Let me read that again, just so it flows. Out of Qatar Makwamat multi-universe is born each Wahu Makwam universe movement of the unmovable. 232. Its supreme balancement, blackness is the only perfect being, atum and absolute state. 234. Hammam, black, is in fact not a color. It's a condition, a state of nature. 235. All colors were born out of blackness. Lawam, color, is an adjective that is agitate blackness to become a mode of blackness, an agitated thing of hydrogen to helium, to so by friction. The sun is born atun. 236. And its secret is hidden in its nature as energy, hydrogen 1 to become helium 2. The secret of creation is hidden in that act, the hidden nature, Amun. 237. Amun is spent energy as sound and thought, Anun to tum, atum to atun to Amun. 238. So come light friction, chaos, matter out of supreme balancement, blackness. 239. Where physical light is absent, so evil is absent. For light, white light is evil. 240. Light hides inside of darkness, as all colors hide inside black, until friction brings about a spark of evil light. 241. All this is recorded in your mind's eye. 242. You were there, which is here, when it all happened to happen. 243. So you listened from darkness when the Karabu cherubim was asked, let there be light. And he saw it was good ghost. And that concludes the script, the mind's eye.
Okay, before we jump to questions, there's another again update from partner Bab Yanun, and an excerpt from the updates, many various updates. So he said, that's referring to partner Bab Yanun, he said, you are the dot. The Hika Chasut has programmed you to only look forward, but you see in all directions. This is how time got confused. He said, I was there, which is here, when the word was spoken, let there be. Let's take the word light. Think of a place in your house, like your kitchen, being able to see a room or place. If you can see it, that's traveling at the speed of light, because it takes light to see. If you can envision it, who creates the light? We create it with our mind. He said, at the bosom, at the subconscious mind, where vision and memories are stored. Now cut the light on. If your mind can travel at the speed of light, you can bring the master teacher home. Allow your mind to travel at the speed of light so that we can see him at the speed of sight. Okay.
Wonderful.
All right. Got some question here from Nemo. Rahubat Nemo. Oh, sorry, we got a couple of questions on Clubhouse. Beg your pardon. Peter, you have a question? Can you open your mic and ask your question? Also, Sol as well. Rahubat. Sorry to keep you waiting.
It's okay. Can I ask one question, please?
Go ahead, my brother.
When I enter my property, my flat, sometimes I see a black shadow, one white past me through the door. What does that mean?
Peter, we cannot answer personal experiences or have interpretations of other people's experiences. We have covered this several times when you've asked this question. So we do not really answer questions. This is your personal experience. And as I read from here, the last excerpt, if we can bring our master teacher home, or when we bring our master teacher home, when we apply what he's provided us to bring him home, which is the love and the unity, these questions that you're asking, that can be answered by the Supreme Being himself. You with me? Yeah. Antak Atira 4. You're most welcome. Sol, over to you. Your question, please. Rahubat, Sol.
Robert.
Okay, so I guess this is a different type of question, but what books and what scrolls can we study further and enhance our ability to align with our spiritual, as well as to probably help us to answer questions from within ourselves as far as our experiences?
Okay. Right. So recommending of scrolls is really something that resonates with you, but because you're talking about the alignment of your spirit and self, the mind scroll, patarak concentration, patarak relaxation. Are you writing these down? So as I'm saying it slowly so that you can grab it.
Sure.
Okay, well, wait. And also you have your potential. These were two, the mind and your potential are two scrolls or books. They haven't been fully updated yet with the new tones, but the information still is, something that can be used and used to apply to your life. So that is those two, and also like I mentioned, the two pataraks, and then you also have the breath book. That book there, if you can get Pa Yafach, Misfar, it's called the breath book. And in there, it shows you breathing techniques, being able to harness the energy known as Sechem into your being and developing the green light, which will protect give you an aura of protection. So there's certain practices within that book that will align you more of your spiritual development. Obviously, there's the other practices like, fasting on the particular days and the months that we have in our calendar, like, the solstice fast. Obviously, meditation is one aspect, but when you read the concentration and relaxation, it actually delves into the ability to find a way to find your concentration level and being able to relax. Because once you're there, that's when meditation kicks in. You have to first learn how to concentrate. Okay, so that's the aspect there. Yeah, that's essentially it. And from those particular books I've mentioned, there's other books that supplement or help reinforce what you're learning. So for instance, Intelligent Design, Divine Design, or Plural Aliens, it may seem like just an extraterrestrial, heavy dose of extraterrestrial information, but within some parts of the book, it actually tells you about certain tones that you can actually use, just what I'm saying, that you can actually chant on a daily basis as well. That will also generate a form of energy around your aura, so everything that we do in Wu-Sabat, as you know, is a protection. So when you're living it, again, going back to if you're starting to appreciate what Wu-Sabat is providing for you, you start to realize that it is a protection. Once you are open, and nine ether forces will protect its children once they're open to the reality of who they are. That's what many people are probably not aware of. You see what I'm saying? But that's this protection that we have, but you have to be receptive to it. And that's part of your journey in, Wu-Sabat or wu-nuwaup, is learning to know and relate to your ancestors and recognize that they exist and that they are real and not just some kind of, a separation thing, like my ancestors are over here and I'm over here. You're connected to them. They're real as much as in their realm as you are in this realm for the time being, for the 80 to 120 cycles of life that you have in this physical realm, but when you transition, as we read from the mind book, is that you will be met by them on that realm, and you'll be taught how to go through your spiritual orientation to become stronger and help others as well. So there's a lot to, that you can do with yourself and with others, who are gathering together for this transformation. Because remember, it's a transformation journey that we're on, I hope that assists.
Tua. On Patarak that you suggest for concentration, what was the other Patarak?
Relaxation.
Relaxation. Okay.
Yeah. Well, where?
Okay. All right, and I have one more question.
Tua. Yeah.
For those who have some of the older spiritual order books, still is it relevant for us to make practice?
Right. That's the one I forgot. Yes. There's one obviously that was written in Holy Tabernacle Ministries, the Supreme Mathematics series, and that was referred to as the science of healing. So in that book, there's an actual practice, but the thing is, because it has the religious connotation to it, I would advise, if you're doing your chants, to replace those words in there with the right tones. You with me? Because the information is correct. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it's just the practice and everything is correct. It's just the tones that you need to replace. You with me? So, like for instance, I think it says in there, yeah, Allahu, Allah, etc. You replace that with, yeah, Nataru. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, okay. Anta Katira for Zama. Right, we got a question on Zoom. Ali, let me read it. Maybe you can take it.
Okay,
Yeah. What does Wu-Sabat say about the existence of other beings outside of Earth? That's the first question. So, over to you.
Well, I think we recognize there are other extraterrestrials who's come to this planet, and I think we can see the manifestation of that through the different races. So we acknowledge that. Yeah, I think you asked, do they exist? Yeah, the answer is yes. And what are the differences in physical to humans? Yeah, I think.
What's the question?
Yeah, no, there was.
What is the difference in physical to humans? Who's that? Nemo? Yeah, what we're explaining, Nemo, Hollywood media have done a bloody good job, yeah, in put it into we're going back to the book that we just read, Patara, into our mind's eye about what these extraterrestrials perceptively look like. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, in our mind's eye, when you say aliens, you may see a green creature, you may see a gray creature with big eyes, etc. Do you see what I'm saying? Or we're going to what's it called? Alien species. We may go into Terminator. Was it no? Was it no Men in Black? Yeah, we go to all these different Hollywood blockbusters. Not you per se, but because of the question, that's what that question is asked. What you got to understand is when we were explaining about that, the fact that they were able to copulate with human women on this planet shows you that they were physical. Do you get what I'm saying? And they had DNA similar to ours. In order for it to be compatible, you have to be compatible in order to procreate. Do you see what I'm saying? Unless you're doing a genetic experiment. So two things were happening. There was a genetic experiment that extraterrestrials do happen to do, and then there's also mixing of genes by sexual, coming together sexually. So extraterrestrials, there are beings or there's a galactical world, okay, a big world where beings exist that look just like you and I. You with me? Woolly hair, dark skin, full lips that came from another star system and seeded this earth with life. Same like you have beings that are reptilian looking, that can shapeshift. And when I say shape, they can transform their physical body, DNA, etc., to look human. Do you see what I'm saying? Then you have beings that are energy beings that can also change and transform to look human and have the DNA composition of a human being and also be able to mix. So you have a lot of different variations of extraterrestrials that come. But yes, some of them are physical and are in human form. And they have given birth, as it says, if you go to the religious world and look in Genesis chapter 6, it says, and men were born, sorry, mighty men and children were born onto these, and they became mighty men of old, men of renown. Yeah, and that word, if I go to the biblical meaning, the word renown means Shem. And when you translate the word Shem in the Chaldean and the Babylonian, it means rocket ship. So it means those children who were warrior, what's it called? Men of renown, the men of the rocket ships. That's what it's actually saying in the original language. So you're dealing with extraterrestrials who had children here, and their children are in society, they're mixing, and we are extraterrestrials ourselves as Nagaru. You know, our DNA is not of this realm, but it was able to be readjusted and reconfigured for us to exist in this realm. Originally, our birth was, or our origin is the Sirius star system. That's our origin. But when one of the stars collapsed, okay, they moved portions of us to this realm in order to relearn again, because some of us weren't able to upskill ourselves or upgrade ourselves to the level to leave and go into the mental realm. So the ones that weren't able to make it to the higher levels, they were brought to this realm in order to relearn what they had to learn. So you have to go through the stages again. It may seem harsh, but you know, if you look at school and you go to school and you don't pass the grade, you're not going to get to the next level, are you, Jay? If you don't pass your exam, you're not going to go past the next level. So it's the same kind of principle applies also in the other realms or of existence. Beings have to know that you're worthy, you know, that you qualify. And just like this realm, if you want to be anything in life, or you know, a scientist, an engineer, etc., you have to do the qualification. You know, you sit exam, pass the test, then you're qualified, you get a certificate, then you can do the job. So it's kind of like the same kind of principle applies. So I hope, you know, that answers that question. Question number 2 for Nemo. You want to take that one?
Question number 2, world leaders keep mentioning that Africa, and especially Kenya, is in the middle of the New World Order. What does world order mean? I do not have reference to the scroll at the moment, and I ask Brother Usair to help me. But I think it's just it's the ending of the old and coming in of the new, the world as we know it, and that may be in a physical and a spiritual form.
Yeah, the New World Order more pertains to the Makasu, because that's the world that they creating. So the New World Order, okay, is their way of maintaining control, even though they know that their time is up. So they've created systems that they've put into place, which is going to affect the whole world. So initially, part of that is the cashless society. That's part of the New World Order. Maintaining a control, having a cashless system.
Digital ID.
Digital IDs. Excuse me. If you go to a country called Estonia, it's a very small country, but Estonia, after the war that took place, etc., and they were rebuilding the country, they focused everything on blockchain, digital IDs. You can vote, you can do your doctor's thing, you can do this, you can do your passport, all of that with a digital ID now. That everyone just said you just have to just punch in your digital ID, police, etc., can just access it, or you can access it and pass it on to relevant institutions. So that is part of that New World Order. So the whole world under the Illuminati, okay, are enforcing this New World Order through their various strategies that they've got on the planet. Our New World Order is every 24,000 years, as Nagaru, as a race, go into a new cycle, where we start to take control by way of natural nature. Just what I'm saying. But we are not getting ourselves together. And the longer it takes us to get ourselves together, the more of an extension that these forces get, and they become more prevalent on the planet, and they're given more extension of time to be able to do what they do, especially if you want to remain in their world. You know, so that's their New World Order, if that's what you're referring to. Our New World Order is the one that is going to be where they'll be wiped away, because that's what's happening to them as a race. Even though they're trying to maintain the facade that they got it together, they actually don't have it together. Do you know what I mean? If you look at the countries, their birth rates falling, the economies being destroyed. So I'm saying people, as you can see, Africa is taking back its resources. Do you know what I'm saying? Other countries are stepping away from them and creating their own. We got 5 minutes. Okay, so these things are taking place within the new world order. And I say it's a dimensional shift for us as Nagaru. We're creating our new world because we work by the cycles of natural nature. So every 24,000 years is a renewal of our way of life. That's our new world order for us. Okay. Shirley T. Williams has a question.
Is there a women's division to Wu-Sabat? When I travel to London, would I be able to study at your school in person? I'm currently enrolled in the spiritual consciousness journey online course and want a full immersive experience. Thank you for allowing me to digress on the topic. It's all okay, Shirley. Short answer is yes, there is a women's division of the Wu-Sabat. In terms of the course, the spiritual consciousness journey, the online course that you're doing, I'm aware that we hold on Thursday evenings, we hold the spiritual night, where we do spiritual practices that which include meditation, chanting, etc., to raise your vibrations. But I'll be honest, I'm not 100% familiar with the course that you're currently on or doing.
That's referring to the one that we wrote the book on, if I'm correct. If it is, just put a thumbs up, Shirley, for us. If you're talking about the fast track one, the fast track course. But yeah, if you're not referring to that, we do have tour. Yeah, the fast track course. Yeah. So essentially the Saturday class that we hold is the way that you can study, or on Tuesdays we also have online studies. That one is actually we do read again from the various books or scrolls written by the partner Bab Yanun. And then this is a study, you're studying now. We're not actually just going to just read, but when we read, we're actually going to be studying. So that's every Tuesday from 7:30, okay, on Zoom. And you can tune to that on the link that's posted in the Kayat platform. Okay, so look out for that link. Or when you travel down on Saturdays from 7, I beg your pardon, to 9:30, we have our classes where you can actually come and learn and study and write down, take notes, etc. So yeah, there's those two forms. And also there's many others that you can tune into, OSM Vision, do you know what I mean? Ask your questions there. But it's constantly studying if you're really, serious about this. Wonderful, wonderful. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it, my sister.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you know.
I couldn't get, I'm so excited. I couldn't type fast enough. So I just thought I'd pop in real quick.
Okay.
So that's so good to know that I can come there in person and do some studying as well. Because I do plan to be in London sometime in January. And I am just so blown away by what I've learned so far just in this little fast track course and being able to connect live like this, like the spirit just led me to tune in today. But yeah, my son introduced me to Wu-Sabat, and he's like, Ma, I knew this would resonate with you, and it's been resonating with me like crazy. It's just giving me a whole new perspective on what I thought I already knew. And like, this is what my mission, this is my mission. And it aligns so, because I'm working on my master's degree, and my thesis title is Challenging the Conscious Mind to Inspire the Subconscious Mind. And so when my son introduced me to Wu-Sabat's teachings, it just, because I was having a writer's block. And so stuff that I'm learning in this online course definitely resonates, and it fills in some of the blanks with my thesis. But it's like, I got to have more of this. I need more than just this online course. And if I have to come to, I was already thinking about coming to London and just to learn that you guys, okay, what book is that? I got to order that book that he showed me.
Yeah. That's, wow, you picked the right class and everything, didn't you? One alignment of nature. Yeah, so yeah, oh man, we're looking forward to seeing you. Definitely, definitely.
What book is that you just held up? 'Cause
Oh,
I'll order that one now.
That's the one we read. It's I'll put it in. It's The Mind's Eye.
Okay, thank you.
Like,
I love you guys. This is beautiful.
oh, wonderful. You know what? This is actually a credit to our master teacher, because knowing that we're able to convey and deliver this message, and that for you to feel the way you feel, this energy is what he needs. He needs to hear that his students are doing the works that is required to wake up the souls and minds of our people and the rest of humanity. So yeah, thank you very much for that praise. And it's not going unnoticed, your comments, because what we tried to do is, we actually let him know by way of our orders, and that he's still loved out here. Do you get what I'm saying? And he will be free. We just have to just keep pushing, for his freedom. But yeah, appreciate that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so the brother just put in on the reflections and projection and The Mind's Eye as two books that you can purchase.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Time's up. We've been told by our our security, so we don't mess with our security. Okay, Moisar Tawakum Lahe Ya Toy Panin Masut. Thank you for coming this evening to our Q&A, Pa Kayat. And we'd love to see more of you attending. All it takes is one person to pass on a message. Just like Shirley, I'll give you an example. Your son passed it on to you. If it resonates with you, this information, pass it on to one person. That's all we say, just pass it on to one person, because there's a science in numbers. Okay. And then, we can let this spread all over the world, because it is needed in this day and time. Okay. Anything you want to add? Go ahead.
No, thank you for your time. Like I said last time, you could have been anywhere else in the world, and some are led, like Shirley, to be here tonight, and that's fantastic. We look forward to seeing you in January. And to the others that made the time, thank you very much.
Tawakum,
Stay blessed.
and we're here next week as well, continuing. So, you can ask all of him questions, Gorag questions. I'll just stay. No, but we honestly, it's great. This is second time, and he's learning. So, we'll give him more of a platform. And Tawakum and Wadu, and take care, Moisar. Ashok.